Good evening and welcome to the Board of Public Utilities work session for March 19th, 2025. Angie, can we have roll call, please?
Roll call, Wakes,
Here.
Mulvaney Henry,
Here.
Parker,
Here.
Gonzalez,
Here.
Groneman,
Here.
Haley. You have a
Thank you. For the record, I did hear from Senator Haley's assistant, and I was informed he will join us at some point. But he was going to be late, so he asked that I convene the meeting. I suppose run it until he's here. That said, can I have an approval of the agenda, please?
move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Roll call, Wakes,
Aye.
Mulvaney Henry,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Groneman.
Aye.
That motion carries.
Thank you. Before we get into everyone's favorite topic, policy review. Update. Do we have any board updates or GM updates? And Mr. General Manager, you are welcome to hold yours until the regular session if that's what your choice is.
I think I have some for each session. Just quickly for this session, probably more appropriate that, there was some email traffic this week about the West Height neighborhood. And so we went through all of that information and tried to validate and tie those dates and claims to things that we know happened on our system. And it is kind of all over the place. Some of it's, animal interference, some of it's major storm interference, some of it is car in the pole type of interference. But nevertheless, it seems to be one area that if we have an event, we struggle with. So the team at Electric Ops has put that up on their number one priority with respect to the pole inspection work. They've already completed a number of patrols with the vegetation management supervisor. And then we have one of the line superintendents working in that area with his crews on all of the pole inspection replacement work, plus other upgrade maintenance stuff that they might recognize while they're in there. So we've heard those complaints. Talking with Darren earlier today, just to make sure I understood everything that was going on and that piece of rearranging it on the pole inspection replacement work, I was unaware of, which is good. I mean, it's still within the zones we're targeting for where we're at in the schedule. It's them. Hopefully some relief here before we get into the heart of sheer spring storm season.
And Jeremy, just as a follow-up, do we have I know what the answer to it is what it's going to be, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do we have a strategy to communicate this information to the folks in the West Height neighborhood that we have reached out and really their neighborhood group?
So Darren has responded to each one of the emailers with, his validation, verification of their information and what we're teeing up here to do. So yes, he has communicated that to them that we are going to are in their area now and they'll be there until we work through the area.
Okay, and has he heard back from any of them? I mean,
not that he told me, no, his emails. Now they may be reaching out to you. I know somebody in particular reaches out to Stevie. So.
Mr. Henches.
Yes, that's the one in particular. So any comment you might get me and I'll get it to Darren and the team, but they are in the area. It has been reprioritized and we're getting it addressed.
awesome. I appreciate the update. Stevie, do you have anything you want to add?
No, appreciate everything. And it was Mr. Henches that reached out and replied back that he did here. And was very pleased that he got the update and is going to continue working on it. So
Good.
and there was another one and responded to her today. So told her that Mr. Henches did get a response, but she mentioned him previously. That's why I mentioned him to her. And yeah, so we should look forward to further updates as we go forward.
I think there was that customer, Mrs. Peterson, and one other, I believe.
Waller
Or something. Yeah. Awesome.
I think Haley responded to that one.
Yeah.
And I do note that board member Haley is online Sure, if he has.
David, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, Madam VP. Yes, I can, and appreciate the follow-up on the West Heights situation with those parties that have been reaching out about the older areas or one particular area, and that there is some follow-through. Glad to hear it. Thank you.
Mr. Haley, Mr. President, do you want me to continue conducting the meeting, or do you want to take over?
If you'd be so kind, I am remote, but I thank you, Madam Vice President. I'm looking forward to joining us during the regular meeting in less than an hour. I'm en route.
Awesome. Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Okay. Were there any other board updates? Did anybody board member have an update of anything?
Mr. Haley, I mentioned, but I learned that they're discussing candidates receiving funds for as being considered on the State House floor, whether or not candidates can receive funds, campaign funds. Something.
What?
I don't know what that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I don't either, but I understand that they're discussing whether or not candidates can receive funds for
Elections?
elections, yeah. So that is something that I understand is being discussed.
So the alternative is that the wealthy have to run their own.
That's a good question.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking.
I don't know. I'm looking
I'm out, folks.
to hear.
Can't afford it. Okay, well, that's interesting. Good
Now,
stuff.
who was looking at that?
I understand that State House is.
Oh, the state. House.
Legislature.
Oh, up in Topeka.
Some,
Oh, wow, I'll listen for that. Pardon me for interrupting. This is David. I've not heard, there are always different bills for what the campaign limits can be, but I'm not familiar with that. It might be over on the other chamber, being discussed. But certainly this is the silly season, and all ideas are being thrown around and bandied around, and we're all anxious to see what sticks.
awesome. Okay. So we'll move into this review. And I know folks were a little surprised that we having sort of a last minute work session. Apologies for that. I left here with the understanding last time that we were going to sort of conclude our discussion about this once you all had the verbiage in front of you to make sure that everyone remains aligned on the modifications to this. So I know you all have received the red lines now, albeit a smidge late. Apologies for that. But you all have it in front of you. So I don't know if folks have any specific questions they have, anywhere they want to start. Yeah, I can explain any red line that's in here. Angie and I went through these together. We still apparently missed typos. Thank you, Stevie, for what you're going to point out. But I don't know if there's any reaction, thoughts, comments to any of this. I caught you chewing.
The date of the election.
The date of the election.
That was what I had questions about.
Oh,
When the meaning of the election of the officers?
yes, I suggested changing that because the swearing in will be in the first meeting of January. You may not have a second meeting in January, and so that's.
So then the bottom, in the paragraph, it ends with January instead of February. I just wanted to change that to February.
I missed
That's all.
was.
That was all.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Stevie. Any other thoughts, comments, reactions?
I think it pretty much reflects what we discussed the last work session.
Did our best. Did our best to
I think you
capture.
did a great job.
Angela?
I agree.
Rose did 95% of the work.
Mr. Parker,
Yeah, I concur. Thank you for putting in the work on it.
and Wouldn't know what to do if I wasn't working, Brett. Don't have any hobbies. They're good for you. Senator Haley, did you have any comments or reaction to the updates to the board policies?
From what I've been able to review, they seem in order from what we've discussed. So I'm good. I think it's a consensus.
Okay. So is everyone, or do we have consensus that folks think we're prepared to vote on these tonight?
Yes.
Super great. Mr. General Manager, do you have anything on these?
No, the only item I saw was the time limit on visitor speaking was increased. That,
It was intended because we went back to one session,
that's what I think the answer was.
From 2-3 minutes to 1 5-minute.
1 5-minute, that's right.
I guess the only other thing I would offer is Chris did print out a sheet, what sign up sheet, that they use. It's really the date, your name, your address and your phone number. So we probably need to edit that to, are you here to talk with a customer care representative?
Thank you.
And if you aren't particular on that, we'll edit this sign up sheet.
I'm not particular on it. I don't know if anybody else is.
As long as there's a box to check for something to acknowledge that.
We will get that done.
Thank you. So I think, Mr. President, certainly up to you. But I think, perhaps we should, potentially, if we're looking to adopt this tonight by resolution, prior to the first meeting in April, when it would be, right? First meeting in April.
Yes.
That maybe we, I guess, sort of explain the new ground rules of customer comments, et cetera, and just sort of do a little bit of a, so folks are aware.
Well, this is David. How did we propose that we do disseminate the new ground rules? As they're adopted, certainly, but how is that disseminated? I guess if it's just in an open meeting and we might want to share that or ask that of Angela as well, but if that should be, is that proper notice? Will that suffice, or can we just do it of our own motion?
I don't understand the question.
Updating the attendees on the public comment procedure.
I mean, yes, you can change the procedure in your own motion.
So
The only way you wouldn't be able to do that is if you did that to just disallow one person, if you changed it before the last person spoke.
Rose, to your point, could we just make a point to probably for several meetings, April, May, June, however long until we kind of settle into it, just top of the agenda after welcome, let's remind folks of that procedure. I hate for someone to, they don't have to come to all of the meetings.
That's right.
So we'll need to alter that opening script. We can do that.
I don't know the rules on our work session. If this is all that's on the agenda, we are not allowed to talk about anything else. Is that correct?
Oh, there's board comments,
Could I just ask a question that,
board updates. You could have more of those.
Okay. I mean, that or I'll entertain a motion to adjourn either way.
okay, when we move to having our work session, and I would like to have a committee meeting for, say, my financial group. How do I go about? Do I let Chris and Kaylee know that's to be scheduled? Do I call committee members? How's that part gonna work?
If you want to, anybody that's a committee chair, if you desire to have a meeting, just reach out to 3 of us. And I only say that because we all have time off, right? So sometimes we cover each other, but if it comes to three of us, we can certainly get your room scheduled, your, whatever else you might need, but we can also let, the other board members know, hey, there's
Right.
gonna be a committee meeting on.
So it will be just like a work session notice, like financial committee's gonna meet it in the boardroom upstairs and audit committee's gonna do blah, blah, blah. So it'll be something similar to that.
Correct.
Okay, was just a question I had going forward.
Are you gonna have a meeting?
Yeah, I am.
I think there was something left over from last year, for the policy committee. Do you recall what that was? Was it purchasing? I think we still need to, the policy committee needs to revisit that. But there was something prepared, I think at the time, maybe that Becky had prepared and
Yes, I believe so, but I think she was shifted to the side, so.
was shifted to the side. I think we got HR in and then we went to customer service policy.
We can rekindle that.
Okay.
Well, since we had discussed financials, maybe on the consent agenda and then quarterly Andrew reporting, I had been texting him or emailing him back and forth on how, other than that, he would like to, sort of communicate financials to us. So
Great.
that's why I was asking about the committee meetings.
Mhm.
Didn't you make a presentation on purchasing before?
I haven't done purchasing.
Okay.
That would be.
Okay.
I don't have any other item.
Anybody else, any other board member have anything else?
Time to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn has been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Roll call, please.
All right.
Mulvaney Henry,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Brenneman,
Aye.
Haley.
Aye.
That motion carries. The work session is adjourned.